Genesis 22. Abraham and Isaac. Sometime later, God wanted to see if Abraham really trusted him. God said to him, Abraham. Abraham replied, Here I am. God said, Take your son and go to the land of Moriah. Take your only son Isaac, who loves you. You must offer him to me there as a heart offering. I will show you the mountain where you must do this. Abraham got up early the next morning. He made his donkey ready for the journey. He took 2 servants with him and also his son Isaac. First, he cut wood for the fire to make the burnt offering. Then he started on his journey to the place that God had told him. On the 3rd day of journey, Abraham could see the place. It was not very far away. He said to his servant, Stay here with the donkey. I will take the boy and we will go over there. We'll worship God in the place and then we'll come back to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering. He gave it to Isaac to carry. Abraham himself carried the fire and the knife, and 2 of them walked on together. Isaac spoke to his father, Abraham. He said, Father. Abraham replied, Yes, my son, what is it? Isaac replied, I see that the fire and the wood are here, but where's the ram so that we can make the burnt offering? Abraham replied, My son, God himself will bring the lamb for the burnt offering. The 2 of them continued to walk on together. They came to the place that God told them. Abraham built an altar there, and he put the wood on it, ready for the fire. Then he tied his son Isaac. He lifted him up and he put him on top of the wood on the altar. Then Abraham took hold of the knife. He was ready to kill his son as a sacrifice. But then the angel of the Lord called Abraham from heaven. He said, Abraham, Abraham. Abraham replied, Here I am. The angel said, Do not hurt the boy. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you respect God and you obey him. Isaac is your only son and you agreed to offer him to me as a sacrifice. You didn't try to keep him safe. Just then Abraham looked around and he saw a ram behind him. Its horns were caught in some bushes. So he went and he took hold of the ram. Abraham killed the ram on the altar as a burnt offering to God. In that way, he killed the ram as a sacrifice instead of his son. Abraham called that place, The Lord will give me what I need. People still say today, On the mountain of the Lord, He will give us what we need. The angel of the Lord called from heaven to Abraham again. The angel said, This is what the Lord says. I promise that He is what I will do for you. You didn't try to keep your son safe, but you offered him to me, and he was your only son. Because you have done this, I will bless you. I will make your descendants become so many that people can't count them. There There be as many as the stars that are in the sky. There be as many as the piece of sand on the shore or by the sea. Your descendants will win against their enemies and their enemies' cities. I will bless all the nations on the earth through your descendants. I will do this because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servant with Isaac. Together they all left to go to Beersheba. Abraham lived there for a time. Later, someone told Abraham, Milcah also has given birth to children. Your brother Nahor is their father. The name of children were Uz, the son who was born first, then his brother Buz, then Camil, who is the father of Aram, then 5 more sons, Kesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jildap, and Bethuel. Bethuel later became the father of Rebekah. Those were the 8 sons of Milcah and Abraham's brother Nahor. Nahor also had a slave wife. Her name was Reumah. She also gave birth to a son for Nahor. Their names were Teban, Gaham, Tahash, and Makah. Sarah dies and Abraham buries her. Sarah lived for 127 years. She died in the land of Canaan at Kiriath Arba. That place is also called Hebron. Abraham was very sad. He went to her tent and he cried very much because she was dead. Then Abraham went to the Hittite people and he said to them, I'm living as a stranger among you. Please sell me some land here so that it belongs to me. Then I can use it to bury my wife properly. The Hittite replies, Sir, please listen to what we say. We respect you as a great and powerful person. We have a good place where you bury our people who have died. Choose the best one that you like. None of us will refuse to give you the place that you choose. Then you will be able to bury your dead wife there. Abraham stood up. He turned his face toward the ground to respect the Hittites who live in the place. He said to them, Since you have agreed to help me, please do this. Speak to Johar's son, Ebron, for me. Ask him to sell the cave of Markapil to me. It belonged to Ebron. It is the edge of his field. You will see that I paid the proper price to him. Then it will belong to me. I can bury my family there when they die. Ebron was sitting there with his people at the city gate. He spoke so that all the Hittites could hear him. Ebron said, No, sir, please listen to me. You may take my field as well as the cave. I promise in front of my people that I will give all this to you. Then you bury your dead wife there. Abraham again turned his face toward the ground to respect the people who lived in the place. While they were listening, he said to Abram, "Let me say this, I will pay you the price to buy the field. Please accept the money from me, then I can bury my dead wife there." Abram replied to Abram, "Listen to me, sir. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver, but the price is not important. Because we are friends, now bury your dead wife there." Abram agreed to the price that Abram had asked for. He weighed the correct amount of silver to give to Abram. The Hittites there knew that it had been done properly. The weight of 400 shekels agreed with the weight that people used at the time. In that way, Abram's field in Machpelah near Mamre now belonged to Abram. This included the field, the cave in the field, and all the trees in the field as far as its edge. All the Hittite people who were sitting there at the city gate agreed that Abram was the new owner. After this, Abram buried his wife Sarah in the cave in the field of Machpelah. The field was near Mamre, in the land of Canaan. The place is also called Hebron. That is how Abram bought the field and the cave that was in it from the Hittite people. He bought it so that he could bury there his family who died. Genesis 24. A wife for Isaac. Abraham was now a very old man. The Lord had blessed him in every way. Abraham had an important servant in his house. He had the authority over everything that belonged to Abraham. Abraham said to him, "Come here and make a promise to me. Put your hand between my legs to show that I can trust you. You must make a serious promise to me in front of the Lord. He is the God who ruled both heaven and earth. I'm living among the Canaanite people, but you must promise this to me. You must not get a Canaanite woman to be a wife for my son. Instead, you must go to my own country, go to my family there to find a wife for my son Isaac." The servant asked Abraham, "What should I do if the woman will not agree? Maybe she would not come back with me to this land. Must I then take your son to the country that you came from?" Abraham replied, "No. You must never take my son back there. The Lord, the God of heaven, took me away from there. He took me out of my father's house. He took me away from the land where my family lived." God made a serious promise to me. He said, "I will give this land to your descendants." Because God has promised this, He will send His angel to go in front of you. When you arrive there, you'll find a woman to marry my son, but perhaps the woman will not agree to come back here with you. If that happens, you don't have to keep this promise, but do not take my son back to that land. So the servant put his hand between Abram's legs. The servant promised that he'll do everything that Abram had told him. After that, Abram's servant left to go on his journey. He took with him 10 of his master's camels. He also took many different kind of valuable gifts that Abram had given to him. He traveled toward Abram Naharaim. He arrived in the town of Nahor. Abram's servant stopped outside the town. He made the camels go down on their knees near a well. It was the evening time. When a woman came to the well to get water, the servant prayed to God. He prayed, Lord, God of Abraham, my master, please be my guide today. Be kind to my master Abraham, as you have promised him. See, I am standing here near this well. The daughters of people who live in the town will come to get water from the well. I will say to one of the young women, please let me have a drink of water from your pot. If she is the right woman for your servant Isaac to marry, please may she say, yes, drink. Then I will give water to your camels also. If that happens, then I will know that you have kept your promise to my master. The servant was still praying when Rebekah came to the well. She had her pot on her shoulder. Rebekah was the daughter of Bethuel, who was the son of Milcah. Milcah was the wife of Abram's brother, Nahor. The young woman was very beautiful. She had not had sex with any man. She went down to the well. She filled her pot with water and she came back up again. Abram's servant hurried to meet her. He said, please give me a little water to drink from your pot. She replied, yes, sir, please drink. She quickly took the pot down from her shoulders, shared the pot with her hand, and gave him a drink. After she had done that, she said, now we'll get some water for your camels too. I will do this until they have drunk as much water as they want. So Rebekah quickly poured the water from her pot into the place where the animals drink. She ran back to the well to get more water. She did this until the camel had drunk enough. Abram's servant watched the girl, but he didn't say anything. He wanted to know if the Lord had helped him to find a wife for Isaac. The camel finished drinking. Then Abram's servant took out a valuable gold nose ring. He weighed 1/2 shekel. He also took out 2 large gold rings for Rebekah's arms. They weighed 10 shekels each. The servant gave them to Rebekah, and he asked her, Whose daughter are you? Please tell me. Is there room in your father's house for me and my man to sleep there tonight? Rebecca replied, I am the daughter of Phutuel. Noah is his father and Milcah is his mother. We have plenty of grass and food for the camels, and there is room for you to stay with us for the night. Then the man turned his face toward the ground. He worshipped the Lord. He said, I praise the Lord who is the God of my master Abraham. He has been very kind to my master. He has done what he promised to do for him. The Lord has been kind to me too. He has led me here to the house of my master's family. Rebecca quickly ran back home. She told her mother and her family about what had happened. Rebecca had a brother. His name is Laban. Laban saw the nose ring and the arm rings that Rebecca was wearing. Rebecca told him what the man had said to her. So Laban went out quickly to the well to meet the servant. He found him standing near the well, together with his camels. Laban said to him, The Lord has blessed you. You shouldn't continue to stand out here. Come with me. I've prepared a room for you in my house. There's also place for your camels. So Abraham's servant went with Laban to the house. They took the luggage of the camels. Someone brought grass and food for the camels. They also brought water so that Abraham's servant and his men could wash their feet. They prepared food for the servant, but he said, I will not eat yet. First I must tell you why I have come here. Laban said, Please tell us. So the servant said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has blessed my master very much, so that I has become very rich. The Lord has given him sheep and cows and silver and gold. He has also given him male servant and female servant, camels and donkeys. Sarah is my master's wife. She has given birth to a son for him, even when she was very old. My master has given his son everything that belongs to him. My master told me to make a serious promise to him. He said, I live as a stranger among the Canaanite people, but you must not get a Canaanite woman to be a wife for my son. Instead, go to the land where my father lived and find a wife for my son from among my family there. So I asked my master, what should I do if the woman will not return with me? My master said, I will live to please the Lord. He will send his angel to go with you. You will find a wife for my son, because the Lord will help you. He will find a wife for him from among my own family. Go to the place where my family group live. If they refuse to let you take her, you will no longer have to keep your promise to me. I arrived at the town where today I prayed, Lord God of my master Abraham, please help me to find a wife for my master's son. This is why I have traveled here. See, I am standing here near this well. If a young woman comes to get water, I will say to her, please let me drink some water from your pot. If she is the woman that the Lord has chosen to marry my master's son, please may she say to me, yes, drink. Then I will also get some water for your camels to drink. While I was still praying quietly, Rebecca came to the well. She carried her pot on her shoulder. She went down to the well and got some water. Then I said to her, please give me some water to drink. She quickly took her pot down from her shoulder. She said, drink. Then I will get water for your camels too. So I drank, and she also gave water to the camels. I asked her, whose daughters are you? She said, I am the daughters of Bethuel. Nahor is his father and Milcah is his mother. And I heard that. I put the ring in her nose. I put the rings on her arms. I turned my face toward the ground and I worshiped the Lord. I praised the Lord, the God of my master Abraham. The Lord led to the right place so that I met the granddaughter of my master's brother. The Lord has led me to her for my master's son. So tell me what you will say. If you will show true love to my master, then please say yes. But if not, then tell me. Then I will know what to do. Laban and Bethuel replied, we know that the Lord has caused all this to happen. So what we ourselves say is not important. Here is Rebecca. Take her with you to become the wife of your master's son. That is what the Lord has shown to be right. When Abraham's servant heard their answer, he turned his face toward the ground to thank the Lord. He brought his master's gift to give them to Rebekah. They were valuable things made from gold and silver as well as beautiful clothes. He also gave valuable things to her brother and to her mother. After that, the servant ate a meal. The men who were with him also ate and drank. They stayed there for the night. When they woke up the next morning, the servant said, let me leave now so that I can go back to my master. Rebekah's brother and his mother replied, please let Rebekah stay with us for a few more days. After 10 days or so, she can go with you. But the servant said, do not make me stay strong. The Lord has given me what I came here for. Let me leave now so that I can go back to my master. Rebekah's brother and mother said, let us call the girl. We can ask her what she wants to do. So they called Rebekah to come. They asked her, will you go with this man now? Rebekah said, yes, I will go. So they agreed to let their sister Rebekah go. Her nurse went with her. They left there with Abraham's servant and his man. As Rebekah was leaving, her brother and mother blessed her. They said, "Oh, sister, may you become the mother of the million of descendants. May your descendants be against their enemies, and may they enter the enemies' cities." Then Rebekah and her female servant left there, together with Abram's servant. They took camels to ride on. That was how the servant took Rebekah and left. At this time, Isaac had returned from Beer Lahai. He was now living in the Negev. It was evening time. Isaac went out to walk in the field. He looked up and saw some camels. They were coming toward him. Rebekah also looked up and he saw Isaac. She got down from her camel. She asked Abram's servant, "I see a man in the field who is coming toward us. Who is he?" The servant replied, "It's my master." Rebekah covered her face with a piece of cloth. Then the servant told Isaac everything that happened. Isaac took Rebekah into her tent that his mother Sarah had lived in. Rebekah became Isaac's wife, and Isaac loved Rebekah. So Isaac was happy again after the death of his mother.